Okay, welcome. I'm trying to do a quick tutorial on how to put grades into Powerschool. Okay, so open up your Powerschool, of course. Click any of the classes. So I'm going to click our 701. If you haven't uploaded any grades, your screen will be blank right here. To add a assignment that's going to be graded towards your that's going to be used toward the grades. You're going to start with this plus sign. This is where all the magic begins. You're going to click that plus sign and you're going to click assignment. So this would be like any of your assignments, whether it's a worksheet that you had the students do or a quiz or a test. That's where you're going to start. A couple things to pay attention to. Um, you're going to select your classes. If it's the same assignment for all of your classes and you want it to just copy to all of the classes, just click all other classes. If it was something unique, if it was one assignment that was unique to one class, just make sure you only click that class. But let's assume that you're giving the same work to all of the classes. So that's the first thing you need to do. That was the select classes. So I selected all the classes. The next thing you need to label the assignment, whatever you want to call it. You want to call it practice. I'm not gonna call it. I'm gonna call it practice. Excuse me. Practice. Practicing. I can't spell either, but y'all know what I'm saying. Practicing Powerschool grades. That's what I'll call this assignment. You can call it whatever assignment you want. This is important also. So under that, you're going to make sure you select category. Make sure you use assessment for things that are going toward your grades. Practice would be something that you're not putting toward the grades, but maybe you just wanted to show for parents or show for the students. You can use that as your discretion, but know that assessments is going to be anything, whether it's a worksheet, a quiz, a test, anything that's counted toward the grade. Make sure it says assessment. Okay. You can put a due date if you want. I really never changed that. Use points. That's been my favorite thing. So the way I grade, and this is up to you. I grade on my regular assignments. I put 10 points. If they're turning it in and they do it complete, they're going to get the 10 points. And then I really just increase it. If this was a quiz of mine, I may turn this into 100 points. So I usually only use 10 or 100. And that would be the max points that they could get, 10 or 100, right? Before you finish hitting save or close, the next thing you want to make sure you do is go to standards, because we're standards based. So depending on your class, I know for math class, a lot of standards are already pre-populated. So I can just go in and click which standards, and you're gonna have to do that on your own. For whatever the specific assignment is, what standard does it meet in your class, whether that's science, whether that's ELA, whether that's social studies. If it's a certain standard that you're working on, make sure you click the standard. So say this was ratios, and I can compute unit rate, and I recognize and represent proportional relationships between quantities. So for math, let's say that particular assignment address those standards. Make sure, this is key, make sure that you click auto calculate. Click auto calculate. Just trust me on that. I'm going to show you why in a second. Make sure you click auto calculate. Okay. So after you click auto calculate, you have the option to say, I want to publish when I put the grades in. I want to publish it soon as I put it in. I like to do that so parents can see on a daily basis where their kid is. But you may not want to take any phone calls, or for whatever reason you may say, I want my grades to be posted on the same day or at a certain time. You have that option, okay? Or you have the option um, to not publish it until a certain time, and you may not know the date, so you just put never, right? After that, standard students, if you needed to do, I'm guessing, like if you needed to do something special for maybe one of our students who have an IEP or something, you can do special assignments and you can just pick a particular student. Okay. But for the most part, that's all you're going to do. You're going to select the classes that you're going to do. You're going to put the title of it. You're going to call it an assessment. If you want to put a due date, you can. You're going to put the amount of points that you're working in. And then you're going to go to standards. You're going to click the standards that you want to put to that particular assignment. You're going to make sure that you put auto calculate, and I'm about to go over that in a second, and then save and close. Now I'm going to open that up to see why that auto populate is important when I say auto populate. So I'm going to click the pot. It's time for me. I done graded the assignments. I'm ready to put in the grade book. They were based on a 10. These were the standards. Now, if you click auto populate, you won't have to do anything. It's going to automatically convert whatever score they get into the standard score, which is a 1, 2, 3, or 4. So you can put a 10 if they got a perfect score, and you see it auto populated. Now say this student got a 3. It's going to auto populate as, you know, they didn't do well in that standard. They just got 1s. A 5. Let's see, I'm trying to populate one that'll show something different than a 4. So a 2. So it just kind of shows you how it auto populates. It would be a headache if you forget to do that. Okay. So let's go to save. Actually, I'm not going to save because I don't want this to alert the parents. So let me go back. Discard changes. I am going to go to edit. And if I needed to delete this, click delete. Confirm deletion, because you don't need that anymore. Now, when we get to the grades, they're going to say you need to put comments, and I'm going to show that later. I'm going to show that in another episode. But for right now, this is the first part of doing your grades, uploading them into the system. I'm trying to stop share.